This is my first video. Hello. I plan to be doing one video a week on like societal issues and everything, or my opinions on what are issues and what aren't. And then one video a week that's a bit more lighthearted, just on a film or TV show or something that I'm currently watching or interested in, and going through that. Yeah, so for today, I want to talk about the struggles that I've faced in the workplace, or the struggles that I feel I've faced in the workplace, and if that resonates, which hopefully it resonates with some people, hopefully it's not just me, that would be awkward, then that would be cool. I mean, not fun, but cool. So, yeah, throughout all the jobs I've had over the years, which to be honest is a whole lot of job for not a whole lot of years, I'm only 20, but you know how it is. I think in every single one of those jobs I've experienced some kind of discrimination or harassment, really, based on, well, me being a woman, a young woman who, yeah, is a female. But yeah, and sorry, I do have notes because I tend to ramble like all the time, so I have to have notes, trust me. Otherwise I'll just get off topic all the time.
During this bit, I basically just rambled too much and never finished any of my sentences and took way too long pauses because I was nervous, and I can barely finish a full sentence properly when I'm not nervous. So I'm just doing a little voiceover over this bit to stop you having to deal with annoying, boring Esther, and it will go back to me actually saying something of value in just a second. Thank you.
Yeah, being in the countryside, I think what I've experienced growing up here is that even though in a lot of ways in our day and age things are a lot more progressed than they used to be, and women have a lot more of a say than they used to, but here at least that's just not the case the same. I mean, I have so many experiences in the short life that I've lived thus far that would completely argue the opposite of equality, to be honest. I mean, in and out of the workplace, obviously, but this video specifically, I want to focus on those experiences that I've had, and I'm sure many other women have had, just from doing your job. You just show up, you work hard, work as hard as you can, and then, you know, all types. I mean, one of my first jobs, there was this guy who was like 40 something, I don't know, he was old anyway. I mean, I know that's not that old, but I was 16, so it's, or 17. Anyways, he was old compared to me, that's what I mean. And he would just not stop ever with the sexual innuendos and the comments here and there, and, you know, tale as old as time. You say, hey, this is a bit weird, don't do that, and they say, no worries, no worries, and then just do it anyway and just carry on, because why not? And yeah, so that's obviously just one experience I've had years ago, but throughout like all the different jobs I've had and all the different fields I've worked in, be it care or the food industry, there's been some sort of discrimination purely based on me being a female, to be honest. In my opinion, purely based on me being a female. So I don't get too off topic and start rambling for hours.
I now proceed to read for way too long.
The workplace can be just so exhausting as it is, being that you're at work in you're working hard and you're stressing out and you're doing everything you can, but on top of that, at least in my experience, you have to worry about making sure you look presentable, but making sure you don't look so presentable that people look at you too much or people notice you too much, because then if you do experience some form of sexual harassment, be it from a customer or a staff member commenting on the way you look, when you then go to higher management, at least in my experience, I've definitely had before that whole idea of like, well, why did you wear your makeup like that, or why did you wear your hair like that, or why did you think that, you know, why did you flirt back? Or in some cases, obviously, when you work in, like, I'm sure anyone else who's worked in like bar service or anything can attest to this, when you work in bar service and it happens, there's kind of this attitude of like, well, yeah, when they do that, flirt back so that they buy more drinks and whatnot. And it's just wild, to me at least, that even in 2023, in my experience, always got preface, in my experience, this kind of thing still happens. And it's not like, oh, once in a blue moon, it happens to like 1 in 10 girls. It happens statistically. 97% of women will experience sexual harassment in their life. And oh god, I can't remember
Me reading for too long again.
the statistic on specifically in the workplace. And in the workplace specifically, even today, 58% of women report experience gender discrimination. So it's like, it's just wild to me that it's just wild to me that after all this time and all this effort, I mean, maybe not everywhere. Like I said, I live in the countryside specifically, so I think there is an amplified version of it. There's very much attitudes in this area that scream old school, if you know what I mean. There's definitely a lot more Tory voters. I'm not to call out Tories, I'm not saying anything necessarily. Not all Tories are the same. But it is a heavily Tory influenced area, and it's an aged area as well. A lot of our population is older, and I don't know what it is about the kids around here, but they tend to be heavily influenced by their parents' views. So yeah, it just creates this weird limbo land, if you will, of being in a modern society with all these modern ideals and like progressive themes, at least on, you know, we see it on our phones or online and stuff, and businesses will advertise it and everything, but then in day-to-day life, people my age will experience discrimination or contribute to discrimination dependent on who they are or what their specific opinions are. So I'd love to hear everyone's opinions on this. Anyone who watches this video, female or male, if you're a woman in the workplace, I'd love to hear what your experiences have been, if you've experienced the same or similar things to me. What do you think? Do you agree that these are still issues, at least where you are? Or if you are someone who lives near me, do you agree that these are issues that you've experienced or witnessed? And if you're a man watching this, what discriminations have you experienced? If you have experienced them, have you experienced any discriminations? Have you witnessed anyone else in your workplace be discriminated? And what are your thoughts generally? I really want to hear what everyone's experiences and thoughts are on this situation, because it might just be that I happen to be unlucky in these situations. But I'd really love to know. I'd love to know if it's a case of loads of people who have had better experiences, or if they've had worse experiences or the same experiences. Whatever your experiences and opinions are, I'd love to hear them. So if you feel so inclined, please leave a comment down below. Obviously this is literally my first video, so if this does reach anyone, whoever it reaches, I'd love to hear your experiences. So yeah, that kind of wraps up at least this video, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. So yeah, see you later, skaters. Bye. So I'd love